Hello, 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 and welcome to this astrological chart reading. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my crazy ass. This one is a request that I was asked to have a look at. I said I was going to do it, so promises made, promises kept. I am looking at Miss Miley Cyrus's chart today. Yes, I am. Yes, the crazy, beautiful, wacky, interesting Sagittarius. Another Sagittarius that I'm looking at. Um, don't know why I'm doing all these Sagittarius charts lately. I said I was going to keep this one really, really tight, so I'm going to kind of really jump in and speed it the fuck up. I hope that you enjoy this. But yes, I did say I was going to do it. So, first things first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much. You can scroll through all of the videos that I have here. I have got a lot of videos on a whole range of things. Most of the things that I look at are connected to the occult, the esoteric world, spirituality, psychology, psychometry, life advice, all that type of good stuff. Scroll through, have a look, listen to what connects with you, take what you need and leave the rest behind. I am going to be setting up a Patreon. So at some point, I will be switching over to Patreon. This has been something that has been meaning to happen, but I've just been I am tired. Okay. Very, very grateful of all of the readings and people coming through, booking me now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you what I can do. This is just me giving you a snapshot of what you will get when you book a reading with me. Bear in mind that all readings are different. So sometimes when I tune into your energy, it's not just an astrological chart review where I'm like, okay, your moon is in It's more about me looking at your energy, looking at what you need to hear, tuning in with your frequency. That's why I do ask for a photograph, because it helps me channel. But if you don't want to send a photograph in, that's okay. Then you have to find someone else that can do the reading for you. Okay, so I'm very upfront about what I require to conduct a natal chart report. Obviously, asking for someone's date of birth. I don't know how you expect me to do a chart reading without your date of birth. But yes, there are some crazy people out there that are pretty fucking lots of crazy stalkers and whatnot. And that's just part of being out here and doing public readings. That being said, this one is for Kelly, because I know you love Miley Cyrus. You've been watching her since she was a kid. All right, so let's get on with this. So Miley Cyrus, the date of birth we have here is the 23rd of the 11th in 1992. Yes, we are. So that's where she was born, in Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, she was. She's a Nashville girl. Out of all the places in America, I actually think Nashville was pretty cool. Probably where I would live if I was in America. I don't think I'd be in Hollywood or LA. All right, so let's have a look at her chart. I'm going to jump straight in, so let's just get into it. If you want to book me for a chart report like this, I now offer 25-minute readings. So just go to the website and book me there, or a 45-minute reading. Go ahead, fill it out, send in the email, and I will get back to you. Thank you to everyone who's sending in all of these emails. It's so cool. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling the love. All right, so Sagittarius Sun. She is a Sagittarius Sun. Now, people have asked me about cusp signs. Do they exist? Yes, they do. All right, I'm going to explain why. The universe isn't perfect, okay? We have bleed overs all the time. All right, in astrology, when your sun sign is sitting at like 0.01 degrees, that is a very, very weak placement in degree. So if it was sitting at, say, 29 degrees, as high as it can go up, or even 28 degrees, that's very close to the cusp of the energy of another sign. All right, so I would be looking at the sign that came before or the sign that came after, depending on where the cusp date is sitting. All right, so Miley is a cusp Scorpio Sag. Yes, she is. And it's sitting at 1.54 degrees in her sun. So that's where it is sitting. Her Taurus is in her ascending. Okay, so Miley's personality is very stubborn. She's very hard headed. She wants to do things her way. That's how she does it. All right, it's her way or no way at all. So that Taurus energy is very, very strong. It's right up at 28.39 degrees. So when she wants something, she goes after it. Perseverance, patience, hard work. That's how she gets stuff done. All right. So her chart ruler is sitting in the 8th house in the Venus. So she manifests things through her stubbornness. She manifests things through her sexual energy. This is a very fixed energy. When she wants something, she goes after it. Her moon is sitting in Scorpio at 26 degrees in conjunct with her Taurus in her ascending. Super powerful energy, very sexual. She creates from pain. She takes pain and makes something out of it. Same thing that Taylor Swift does. Whenever we have scorpionic energy in conjunct with a Sagittarius, that is a transmutator. So what it means is that the person takes their experiences, they take their breakups, they take their aspects of their private life, and then they verbalize it linguistically through songs or paintings or creating and transmute that into something that is out in the external world. All right. So her Neptune is sitting in between two planets. So she's got that in a very strong Capricorn. So she's got a globalist mindset. She loves to create and she loves to connect with as many people as possible. Given this conjunct there as well, it would probably make Miley very bisexual, Sagittarians with that Scorpio energy, and her Mars is in Cancer. So she has a very soft spot with lovers, but she can be quite needy. Mars sitting in Cancer is that she may be the at times she needs constant reassurance in a relationship. She needs to be told that she's okay. She needs to be told that she's loved. She needs kind of like an avoid attacher with her would not work. And we know, I think from past from her, I don't really follow Miley overly, but I know that a lot of her relationships have been very kind of on again, off again. Okay. With her Scorpio moon, she can be quite revengeful. So if someone was to cheat on her, Miley will switch it up and then go, well, fuck you. I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to be free. She is a free spirit rock star. All right. That Sagittarius energy is just out there. Okay. She's very eager and she knows like where she wants to go. So let's have a look at her relationships. Very bisexual energy here. So it's like she would be with girls, she would be with men. She's kind of like sees life as a magical garden. You know, she knows if she puts the effort into things, it'll grow. She has her Libra in Jupiter in the 5th house of romance. So she's like just sees everything as equal. All right. So she doesn't like people putting themselves above other people. She's very big as a champion for equality and equality in whatever expression that might be. All right. So in a relationship, it's all about the mind. The Sagittarius energy is a philosophical person. So she does need very deep, heavy conversations. I wouldn't be surprised if she's played with like quite a lot of different drugs that have shifted different levels of consciousness with her. She's all about going into higher states of consciousness. When Miley's performing, she would be shifting it up and going like into another world. She feeds off the energy that's coming towards her and then she projects it outwards. So looking at her stellium there as well, it's like when she was a girl, she was a workhorse, working very, very hard, kind of like getting up early, going to set, doing lots of hours, going to school, working around lots of adults. I just see her around lots and lots of adults. Producers, like I think she was in a TV show back in the day, which was at Hannah Montana. So she was really just like working really hard. She's got that working energy. And sitting in the fourth house, it kind of governs that she may have been like in a family business of sorts. Being a star is like she came into this life and like was like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. Everyone around me is doing it. So it's kind of like that family energy sitting there with her Cancer Mars. Cancer Mars at 27 degrees is a very strong family connection. So family is very important to her. But you see, Mars in Cancer at that level of degree indicates that it's like even kind of in a competition with people within her family. Okay, so they can be, and you see, Cancer in Mars imitates things. All right, so whenever I see that, it's like Cancers imitate emotions, and that's what an actor does anyway. So she can kind of switch it on. There's a child star energy with that Sagittarius in the sun, which means that she's like needing like look at me, I can sing, look at me, I can dance. Like there's an audience on her, she needs an audience there. That Sagittarius is quite wholesome. So although she has like this very high work ethic, she also is very grounded. She likes to go to the country, she likes to pick flowers, she likes to, I wouldn't be surprised if Miley even had an orchard of some kind. A Sagittarius in conjunct with the Taurus is very, she needs to go away from Hollywood. She needs to have a house that's away from the craziness of Hollywood. So she kind of comes and goes when she needs to. All right. But a lot of it's all out in nature. She's got a very strong nature energy there as well with that Venus. So a lot of her energy here is about releasing control in the 12th house. So a lot of structure that would have happened in her early life, it's like it was all really oppressed. It was all about structure and like what are they called? Like reading charts. Like this is the set. Like this is the script. Learn this thing. Like adults telling her what to do until she created like a character that she had to escape from. And that Sagittarius is rebellion. That rock star energy doesn't want to be tied up and tied down into a character. It wants to be real. It wants to be raw. When we have Sagittarius Sun and her North Node sitting in the Sagittarius, it's a rebellion against the version of self that the outer world sees. So what she would have done is she would have exploded out of this. A lot of Sagittarians work with oppression and repression and depression. So it's like Jupiter energy doesn't like being contained, and her North Node sitting in there as well is that she would have just been like, how do I pull away as far as I can to the opposite of what everyone saw me as? So that's what she's kind of done throughout her career, is that she keeps throwing curveballs in different directions. Sagittarius wants to do that anyway. It doesn't like to be tied down. It doesn't like you to think it's one-dimensional. So as soon as you think you see her as a rock star, she might release a very stripped out song that's very different to a rock star song. So it's all about shaking it up, changing it up. Collaboration is very big around her as well. She's very strong when it comes to her external projection, that Capricorn energy in her Venus. Capricorn is in Uranus and it's in Neptune squared. So she is like, doesn't like it when people take anything that she's said or anything that she's created and try to put something over the top of it. So she's very, very strict with how her public house is seen in the outer world. So people would be getting letters saying, cease and assist letters from her team would be going out to people that try to distort her music or distort her image. She's very protective of her image. All right. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so it's like a lot of the trauma, we see a lot of like, she had to grow up really quick. There's like growing up very quick here in the energy of her chart. So it's like that whole service to others, putting on a show, waking up early, going to bed late, that type of thing was very, very strong. And it was kind of like she was running on empty at one point there as well. It really sucked the life out of her. And then it was all just about, I'm not serving anyone, I'm pulling away from this. I just want to relax. I want to enjoy my money and I'll come back and reinvent myself later. So she does have burnout quite a bit. Ascending in Taurus usually is a singer anyway. A lot of Taurians have very beautiful voices. So you've got to really look after that. I've got a few friends with the ascending in Taurus or the sun in Taurus. Very, very strong vocal and strong throat and neck. So I'm not sure if she's done something that's caused trauma to her voice box, but there's something sitting not quite right there as well. Let's have a look. Jupiter is always going to be on her side. It wouldn't matter if you took everything away from her. It's her spirit that she's got there. Her midheaven is sitting in the Libra, and so the Eye's actually sitting in Aquarius. So there you go. There's the rebellion. So it's just all about rebellion. It's all about being in the entertainment industry, which is quite dark. So she'd have a lot of like wild tales of parties and different people coming to her house, and her younger years would have been very dark. I wouldn't be surprised if she came out later with some kind of book that explained like her time on the Disney Channel. I know that there were some things that were very shady around Disney. Oh, well, there still are. And also Nickelodeon as well. So it'd be pretty interesting if she came out later in her life and was like, okay, this is what really happened. But yeah, so there's actually an energy sitting around her 12th house, which actually see a child, a son. I'm not sure if she's secretly had a child or she may be wanting to have a child. This is pretty interesting because Sagittarius is so rebellion with that Lilith sitting in Pisces. I'm not sure, but there is an energy there for a son. So not sure, I'm calling it now. I'm not sure if Miley's over 30 now. I think she might be. But yeah, it's having a child and settling down is something that she would like to do. That scorpionic energy there and that Cancer sitting in the Mars is very much about family. So she's very, shows up for her family, very connected to her brothers and sisters and that type of thing. Very, very strong family unit. They all move together, and that's kind of the business model that she's been built in as well. So it's all business related. Everything she does is business related. Neptune in Capricorn. Rebirth, lots of rebirth. Pluto is sitting in Scorpio very strongly at 23 degrees. So she is about rebirthing herself. So when people think that her career is over, she just pulls out this new album and it just goes right up to the top of the charts again. So lots of rebellion from oppression is what we see here. And that's what makes her so interesting and so grounded. I wouldn't be surprised if she was interested in astrology and metaphysical topics of that nature. The Sag is sitting in the 11th house. So that's why she probably already gets tarot card readings done, or she has an interest in like destiny and things like that. That would be very connected to her chart. But she's very direct and very straightforward, and she likes to just really get to the crux of things. So it's like, don't bullshit her. She doesn't like bullshit. She's very disciplined. There's a lot of discipline there. So that regimented structure that she had in her childhood, she's applied that very strongly to her mindset and how she works with people that she doesn't really like and gets a team around her that bring out the best in her. She's always looking for her best work. And with that Sagittarius stellium, it's like she likes to switch things up, but she sees things through to the end. So when she's writing a song or she's working on something, she likes to see things through as far as they can go. She's got the discipline to do the work. And you see with that Sagittarius sun and the Taurus rising, that means that she really loves to show up for herself, push herself. And it's like she's got a philosophical side to her that wants to come through her creation. So to her, it's the art. It's exploring concepts, and that's what drives her. It isn't just enough to create something that looks pretty. But the Sagittarius is, and we knew that her Aquarius was in her midheaven, so her work sector is shocking people. She likes to shock people. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that's part of her placements is like, taking it to a really extreme level and getting a reaction. She gets off on that. She enjoys throwing that in there. But other than that, I mean, Miley, she's got a great chart. It's a really cool chart. Mercury's in Scorpio, yes. Very good linguistically. So yeah, she's a good communicator, but she really hits hard. So when she goes you, she really goes you. She goes for the jugular, right? Her relationships would be quite unstable. In terms of placement compatibility, dare I say she probably needs a Virgo or even a Taurus energy to settle her. The Sagittarius won't be contained, but it needs someone that stabilizes her chart. Her chart is fire, water, intensity, like lava. All right. So, yeah, sexually, a lot of creation comes from her sexuality and her own projection of how the world sees her. So that's what I see there. But yeah, really, really cool chart. I did recently get her album Endless Summer, which I really loved. The song Flowers. I love the song Jaded. I think it's a really beautiful song. And she likes to twist melodies and play with different beats. So she's just got this explorative nature that she has, and it just works so, so well. She's very strong with her aesthetic. So visually, she likes to tell a visual storyteller. And so there'd be days where she wouldn't leave her house, weeks where she wouldn't leave her house. She would just sit around and watch movies and just fuck and eat food. She may have an excessive issue there as well, with the Taurus in conjunct with the Sag. So she could be like lots and lots of like weekend fucking, weekend sex, dirty weekends away, lots of excessive energy. Like she can overindulge with food. It's just part of her nature. But that Capricorn balances it out, that she's got in there as well. So she knows that, you have to do the work. So it's just a great chart. And I love her music. I love her songs. I think she's really talented. But it's just this spirit that she has that won't be like kept down. It won't be oppressed. Every time everyone thinks it's like the world is against her, she goes within and then she brings something out that just, it's undeniable talent, undeniable ability to hold an audience. And that's what she does. So yeah, just the relationship aspects to her chart are very unstable. So lots of like on again, off again, lots of lovers. She's a very free spirit in that way. But yeah, that doesn't really settle into a family construct very well. Potentially, it could happen a bit later on in her life. But yeah, she's come out of her Saturn return after the last few years. So she's had such a rebirth time where she's played around with different like hairstyles, different projections of herself. So don't be surprised if she does something different. It's all about shaking it up. And that's Miley's chart. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Please go to my website and see the links if you'd like me to look into your chart, and send in questions. Give me a backstory. I love a good backstory. I can unpack that and look at your chart with the backstories and really understand what's going on with you. So lots and lots of love. This was Miley Cyrus's natal chart. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Hannah Montana, child star. Rebranding, rebirthing. It's just really, really interesting. And yes, I love that Sagittarius energy. I love me a good Sagittarius. All right, I will see you in the next reading. Send in some reports, what requests, what would you like me to look at next? Whose chart would you like me to look at next? All right, bye, bye, bye.